And so the psychoanalysts were they were diametrically wrong, because if you expose someone to anything they're afraid of, effectively, they get less afraid of everything, right? And so that's partly why psychotherapy is curative in that manner, is that people discover that they're bigger than their fears. They don't discover that the fears are trivial.
I think that the cult...
See, that's interesting too, if that's true, that engaging in any type of, and I think that is true, any type of resistance training, psychological resistance training, where you engage any fear, makes you more resistant to all your fears.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that is true. I think that is true.
I'm going to make like 10 dentist appointments right in a row with different dentists.
Right. Well, I know that was part of when we talked about Wim Hof the other day. That was part of the psychology, you know, the people that do the ice cold shower things.
Oh, really?
That it makes you, yeah, because you don't want to do it.
Obviously.
But the resilience of forcing yourself to do it actually, you know, improves your willpower and other avenues of your life.
Maybe I will do that.
Oh.
Maybe I'll jump in the ice cold swimming pool.
There you go.
See if I can kill myself.
It does. And also, I mean, like, but supposedly like doing the ice cold baths is supposed to have some health benefit to you. It's like actually not just psychological, but
if it gives me a heart attack, I'm going to blame you.
Okay. That's fair.
We're almost done with this video.
Going to be the destruction of all psychotherapy, and then because
this is like a completely not real thing that's happening. This is a complete the cult of affirmation. This is like just a not real thing. This just completely made up. You know, it's like you might as well say like I think these dragons that people have built atop mills, built atop hills, claiming they're windmills, are going to be the downfall of civilization.
If the cult of authenticity is that your true authentic feeling.
So what happened was Ben Shapiro said, then this means that this idea that you have to affirm everything would be the death of all psychotherapy, which is true.
Definitely true.
And once you hear that, Vaush should, if he was being honest, realize, oh, that's why Jordan Peterson was talking about fear habituation for the last minute, where I was insulting him and pretending like what he was saying was irrelevant to the conversation.
Yes.
But no, he doesn't make that point. And then further, he says that it's not true, which is bullshit, because how many times have we seen people make these statements like it's incorrect to characterize certain behaviors as being mental illnesses just because they're not normative behaviors.
Right. Atypical.
Right. Because they're atypical. We've all seen that a million times. This idea that you have to affirm everyone's existence is so baked into woke ideology. I mean, this is a big part of CRT. Is saying we don't trust science. We don't trust that things are objective. You just have to trust my lived experience. Listen and believe. Affirm my reality. Yeah. How dare you question my lived experiences?
I mean, I'm literally paying a therapist to affirm my reality. How dare you question?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So but yet he's sitting here and pretending like this isn't a thing that we're all experiencing.
Yeah.
That people have built atop mills, built atop hills, claiming they're windmills, are going to be the downfall of civilization.
If the cult of authenticity is that your true authentic feelings are what makes you you, then the attempt to make you brave in spite of your fears is a suppression of your fears. It's almost like a Freudian analysis of you're suppressing your sexual desire. And this.
That's actually a really interesting point that I never thought of, that Ben Shapiro just brought up.
Yeah.
Which is that he was saying, he's conceptualizing the woke people as being the cult of authenticity. They're people who are seeking some kind of true authenticness about themselves, right? Like, what is the true you? You have to discover what you truly are, right? And accept it and believe it and be that, right? You don't change who you are. You accept who you truly are. And if that's the overriding singular focus of what you're doing, then you would have to acknowledge that any fears you have are justified, right? That's what Ben Shapiro is saying.
Because they're a part of you, they're a part of your authentic self.
Right. He says it very interesting.
The attempt to make you brave in spite of your fears is a suppression of your fears.
Right. Making you brave, and because if you're seeking your authentic self and your authentic self is afraid of something, then you training yourself to not be afraid of something would be the denial of your authentic self.
Ooh, yeah, that's great.
Which is interesting. I never thought about that. And maybe that's why
That's bad.
a lot of the woke shit is very like anti-fragile training. Because maybe there's some weird perception that like this is a denial of your true self by trying to become stronger.
They're against anti-fragile training.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
True.
Fears. It's almost like a Freudian analysis of you're suppressing your sexual desire, and this
What? Wait, how does that follow?
Oh,
is what makes you you. Then the attempt to make you brave in spite of your fears is a suppression of your fears. It's almost like a Freudian analysis.
Make you brave in spite of your fear. What fears? So I think what he's saying here is that the cult of affirmation, if it were to exist, is bad.
You can
because
do
it teaches gender questioning youth to suppress the fear they have that they're not going to make a good trans person.
So you were so close, Vaush. He wasn't talking about gender. Just talking about changing who you are and fear in general. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't just on gender. They've moved off the narrow topic of gender.
Right.
In a conversation, you switch topics sometimes. It happens. You should know this.
We never switch topics. We always stay on topic all the way until the end.
Is that it? The cult, the cult of authenticity. Like the cult of authenticity is going to suppress the fear of the individual to fear to be what does any of this mean? This is what happens when you have two people who have never been told that they're dumb for their entire professional lives until they became public figures and had a fan base to insulate them. This is what happens. Ben Shapiro has this energy more than anyone else on earth. The like good special boy who's very special and very good and very smart and gets head pats when he does good. And like honestly, Jordan Peterson probably gets like the, scuff jacket, patched shoulder or patched elbow intellectual variant of that.
Even this argument is completely fallacious because I'm sure Vaush gets told he's stupid all day, all night, but it hasn't stopped him from saying stupid shit. So I like even this argument doesn't hold water.
Well, listen, Vaush, if Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro are so stupid, why are you completely unable to counter anything they're saying and to just go, la, 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 I can't hear you, you're stupid, la, 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 la.
Or even paraphrase what they're saying.
Right.
I mean, granted, we're helping each other out here. Maybe if Vaush had someone who explained it to him. I feel like even if Vaush had someone on that was going to be like the Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro translator for him, he would argue with that person. That person would be like, he'd be like, no, you're lying. That's not what they mean. You're so full of shit. I'm beginning to think that you're bad faith. That's exactly what he would do. I'm beginning to wonder if you're stupid or dishonest. That's Vaush's go-to move. Are you stupid or dishonest? Tell me. Are you stupid or are you systemically stupid or systemically dishonest?
Of you're suppressing your sexual desire, and this is not full authenticity.
Yeah, right. Why isn't the fear you?
Right, exactly.
The authentic you.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of where we're going. It seems like that.
So this movement towards unity that we were talking about, this is a place I think where, like, informed liberals and conservatives could meet. It's like, well, there is this authenticity, let's say, and drive for adventure, and you see that elevated to the highest place in some sense in the more careless Disney movies, but the full manifestation of that in an integrated sense.
He looked around befuddledly and said, "What?" So I'm at. he totally did. He's like,
I
"What?
Can't do the
Disney?
sound.
Disney's terrible." The thing is, he's so thirsty to disagree with Jordan Peterson. Is Vaush in favor of the gender stereotypes in Disney princess movies? Probably not.
is the drive towards authenticity inside this higher order unity. It has to be, because otherwise it's disuniting. It causes fragmentation and chaos. And so it has to be subordinate to a higher order end. And then you might say, well, what is that? Part of that's the reciprocal.
Oh, I legitimately have no fucking idea what he just... Hold on.
Oh my God. Here we go.
And you see that elevated to the highest place in some sense in the more careless Disney movies. But the full manifestation of that in an integrated sense is the drive towards authenticity inside this higher order unity. It has to be, because otherwise it's disuniting.
This means not. I think this really does mean nothing. This is just word salad. I can't believe. Unironically, I don't know if I in my bachelor's degree ever submitted anything that abused language the way he does, I would have been made fun of for it. I don't know how he has a doctorate. I don't know. I don't understand.
So if Vaush wasn't being such a asshole, I would forgive him for not understanding what Peterson's saying, because it is very complicated.
Well, I would have to ask follow-up questions to be 100% certain what he means. And I have, as I've talked about on the show many times, like I understand the difference between sincerity and authenticity.
Right.
And evidently, like philosophers have this identity generation thing that they've studied like in a way that I've never studied. So
right. What Peterson's saying, but I wouldn't fault someone for being like, wait, what is he saying? Because he says it, I'll agree. He doesn't say it in a very clear way.
Not clear, no.
Okay. What he's saying is that there is a problem in some Disney movies where, because he likes to use Disney movies as like archetypical stories that tell people how to behave. There are some problems in some Disney movies where the highest order value that the main character seeks is authenticity to the self.
Yes.
Okay, is to explore what it means to be the true you. And he's saying that if this is your highest goal and it doesn't exist in a balanced framework, it's going to lead you to chaotic results in terms of how, disharmonious results in terms of how you exist as a person. Okay.
Yes.
Which, fair enough. If you want to say that was confusing, I would agree. But Vaush has been so bad faith this entire time that he just goes, "Oh, this is word salad. He's just an old man. He's just rambling. Nothing he says means anything, Sitch. You don't understand. I know the truth."